do, Dream Team? It's your boy D Neil back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with the story of Only Fools and Horses, Season 1, Episode 4, Peckham and Beyond. Before we dive in, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
Stick a money in me pocket. I'll fetch the suitcase from the van. Cause if you want the lessons but you don't ask questions, then brother, I'm your man. Cause where it all comes from is a mystery. It's like the changing of the seasons and the tides of the sea. But here's the one that's driving me berserk. Why do
Yeah, I was watching that.
Only Fools and Horses is one of Britain's most loved shows on TV.
Lovely jubbly.
64 episodes were made between 1981 and 2003, and it's still watched and laughed at by millions of us every week.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get the Dukes of Hazzard.
With every line written by just one man.
The success of Fools and Horses can be summed up with two words, and it's John Sullivan.
The story of Derek Trotter's life is the story of John Sullivan's creative genius.
Pushed it.
I don't think anybody really touches John for being able to make you laugh.
Oh!
And being able to make you cry.
This time next year, we'll be millionaires.
Celebrating the wonderful comedy world of John Sullivan, we'll be getting the inside story on the Trotters from the horse's mouth.
I was nearly fired because of that scene.
Oi!
I said to John, you can't use this.
Come on, get him off! Come on!
We've also recreated some of the sets, reunited cast members, and have talked to some of the show's most famous fans.
One of the incredible things about Fools and Horses is that you could grow up watching it.
I can't remember a time before I watched Only Fools and Horses.
It's really, really, really the best.
Over the next hour, we'll be taking a tour around Peckham.
Right, Dave?
Let's pretend we're Dutchmen, right? Ajax!
We'll also find out what happens when some classic Only Fools moments are remade overseas. So sit back and enjoy the definitive story of Only Fools and Horses, the show which has given us some of the most memorable moments in British comedy.
Let's do it.
Of course, that's just comedy. I mean, it doesn't really happen in real life.
It's not supposed to happen in real life.
But it's not supposed to happen in real life. Grandad?
Still hadn't got the right one.
Still hasn't got it right.
We live in London, one of the better parts of London.
Yeah, Peckham.
First off, Peckham is a funny word to say, Peckham.
Peckham.
Peckham. Peckham.
Peckham is just, it's easy to remember.
Peckham?
Yeah.
I've never been to Peckham in my life.
That's all I really know about Peckham is that it's a great name.
Peckham for this group of people is intrinsic to the whole thing because of the market stalls, because of the high-rise flats. You know, Peckham summed up a level of people who are trying to improve their lot.
We live half a mile up in the sky in this Lego set built by the council. We've got a three-wheel van with a bald tyre. We drink in wine bars that the only thing that's got a vintage is the governor's wife. That's why I want to grab this opportunity with both hands, Rodney.
I grew up in Dagenham, which isn't a million miles away from Peckham. It totally seemed real.
Oi, you little git!
That's exactly what my life and how I'd known life up until that point was like.
The old Kent Road, the cheapest in the Monopoly board, divides where I grew up, Bermondsey and Deptford, from Peckham over here. And we had nothing in South London. It was as working class an area as you can imagine. But we used to make jokes about Peckham. Then nobody going out for a girl from Peckham. Yeah, she must be nice.
God, look at the state of her, eh?
Right? What?
You can
see her wrinkles from here.
All right, all right.
Got a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp, hasn't she?
She got a face like a bulldog chewing a wasp. I didn't remember that joke. But when you think about a bulldog chewing a wasp, it just becomes that much funnier.
All right, go on. You can have the best one.
That is the best one.
John Sullivan grew up in Peckham, South London, a living inspiration for the characters and storylines he created.
The street I lived in is one of those streets filled with characters. I think anywhere you go in the country, when Newcastle, Liverpool, when you get these kind of ghetto type streets, you do get these wonderful characters and incidents that just fill you. You don't realise quite how colourful they are.
I had a fight with 5 blokes last night.
What was it, a pillar fight?
I was out in the real pubs, the South London pubs, and the kind of discos and things that were all around then in the 70, 75. I just wanted to try and bring in the real characters that were actually living out there in the pubs and streets now at this particular time.
Inevitable then that the Nag's Head would become the heart of activity for the Trotters' friends and family.
In every community, the pub where everybody goes, it's key really, I think.
Yes, congratulations, Albert. It reminded me of the theme track from Noddy the movie.
I don't know how much pubs are still the centre of a community in the way that the Nag's Head is in Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, here in America, at least in the places that I've been, a pub's not really the center of the community. The way it was in Only Fools and Horses, I absolutely love that. And I love that it was the center. But I've never, experienced that. But I don't go to pubs a lot, so I could be very wrong.
I guess they are still to an extent, but when it started, I think that was still very much true.
I've had certificates for my beer.
Yeah, I've had a few days off work with it and all.
I mean, that's the other great thing about pubs, and still is, I suppose, there's something of a leveller.
I reckon you can pick up BBC Two on that air.
John wanted as big an ethnic mix as possible. He said this is the melting pot. So the South London pubs, you'll get every race, nationality and religion.
He's a nice bloke, that Ranji. He took me and Rodney over to Southall last week. They was holding this Asian song contest.
Is that right?
Yeah, a bloke called Singh won it.
Oh, my London life wasn't really being addressed, not in comedies at all. It was still kind of an old-fashioned London. And there seemed to be no kind of black people in there or anything. If they were, they're just somewhere in the background.
It was the focal point of the show, the Nag's Head, yes. And of course, it's the device that a lot of TV shows use to get all the characters into one place.
Rose we got?
One of the jolliest ones I remember was after Marlene had got her beloved baby, and she's sitting there with all the photographs of the baby, showing them off. Del does this terrible thing that anybody could have been the father.
Oh, look at that. I never noticed that. Mikey's got your mouth, look. That is Rodney's nose, if ever I've seen that.
That's where the series lived.
Wave goodbye to you, Daddy.
I did love that. I did love that scene for sure.
Creator John Sullivan was insistent that Only Fools was set in a real London borough, with real London characters talking like real London people.
Say you take your overcoat off and you put it up on the rack in a pub and you say, look after my smother for me, Fred, well, it's your overcoat, you know what I mean? And you might have your 12s in your pocket. What's that? Bunch of keys.
I know people that talk in Cockney rhyming slang, not ironically, not as a joke. It's just how they talk.
Well, I thought I might go down and have a couple of light ales down the Nag's Head and then go on to the Star of Bengal for a Ruby Murray.
The fact that language can sort of connect with you in such a way, I think, is just brilliant. And yeah, John Sullivan was a master of it, and I think David Jason's delivery of it was equally really authentic.
Where do you get this pain?
Well, all over, really. I mean, this morning I got it in the lift as I was coming.
No. Where on your body?
Oh, right. Get it in the old New Delhi, don't I?
New Delhi?
Yeah, the belly. You're not from round these parts, are you?
There was a lot of rhyming slang which I didn't get.
He had a line, something along the lines of, my April would be going like a moped.
Of course, my old April was going like a moped.
What? No.
April in Paris, Aris, Aristotle, bottle and glass.
Your arse.
If a wild lion were to come in here now, my old April would be pouting like a good one, but I'd stand me ground.
It was John Sullivan's genius.
Yeah, until they explained it just now, I don't get that. But now that they explained it, I understand it.
To put words in that have since become Only Fools and Horses words.
Lovely jubbly.
Yes.
Fuck a thing, no mucking about. Oh, Kushti.
They were certainly in the language of South London. Kushti was certainly a word in my school playground.
Oh, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be Kushti.
Never heard it on television. And the first time I heard that, I thought, hello, this is written by one of the chaps. This isn't by committee. This fella talking about.
And inventing his own version of Cockney slang meant John Sullivan was able to slip a few near-the-knuckle phrases under the BBC censorship radar.
Oh, what a plonker.
Some of those expressions seem innocent enough, but they did have a much deeper meaning for us working-class lads.
Dozy little twonk, Rodney.
When I first saw in the script, Rodney, you are a plonker, I said to John, you can't use this. And he said, well, they passed it. I said, who? He said, the powers that be upstairs. I said, but did they say they knew what it meant? He said, I don't think they did. And anyway, I'm not going to tell them, are you?
What a 42-carat plonker you really are.
Yeah, I be saying in words that I be stealing a lot of phrases and words. But I be saying plonker, Wally. I love to say, it makes sense. I love saying that. Lovely jubbly. Bro, it's just, there's so many iconic things you could pull from this show.
Coming up, we see that worse things actually do happen at sea.
Oh, God.
And how the Portuguese Del Boy Trotter handles the legendary falling through the bar scene.
Oh, no.
Del and Rodney Trotter lived in Peckham all their lives.
Genuine Italian sonnets.
But every now and again, writer John Sullivan allowed them to escape rainy South London.
Done it. I booked our holiday. Here you are, my boy.
Holiday.
Here it is, all in there. We're going somewhere different. We are away from the tourists.
Yeah? Where?
Benidorm.
Oh, we thought, great, wonderful. Well, we're going to get a free trip to the sunshine.
Viva los Spaniards.
No, we're not. We're going to Studland Bay, just outside Poole.
In the early days of Fools, the budgets, because it was early days and they weren't necessarily the show that it was, if John wrote a scene in Spain, you didn't go to Spain.
Watch it.
I know exactly when it was because it was the day before my 21st birthday, so it was April the 19th, which is not, balmy by any means.
There you go, Dope.
Oh, cheers. This is the life, eh, Rodders?
We spent our day on the beach, trying not to look too goosebumpy.
Whilst everybody's there, you see, all in their great big, jackets and furry boots and gloves and all of that, and there's me lying on the beach with nothing on, practically.
Here, Roddy, put some of that all on my back, will you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know he was so cold, boy, because I would definitely be freezing. I do not do cold at all. At all.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, sorry, I thought it was oil.
Saving the television license payers money, which to me was more important than going to Benidorm.
Regardless of it being the breezy British coast or a beach bar in Benidorm, Del was always ready to show off his grasp of exotic languages.
He comes out with these French phrases with such confidence.
Yes.
And he just makes himself look like a complete wally.
Yes.
Bonsoir.
Bonjour, monsieur. Vous restez à l'hôtel?
De fonce de fumée. De bonnet?
Oui, merci.
Oh. Oui, garçon. Dos de bonnet par favor. Dankeschön.
De quelle partie de la France êtes-vous?
Ah oui, je t'aime, je t'adore. Sur les ponts d'Avignon. Yeah. Okay.
Del's use of French was typical of the era, where if you didn't learn a language, didn't know how to speak the language, you just pretend.
Ew, you speak a bit of French, don't you?
Well, potage bon fait.
I swear to God, he always spoke it so confidently, like he knew what he was talking about. Hey, but you know, you gotta fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it.
He's trying to impress people that they won't know what it means either, but it sounds really cool to speak French.
Garçon, la petit pois.
Oh, parlez-vous français?
Jawohl.
Yes. Well, you can't speak French. You're still struggling with English.
I remember reading the first script. I think it said, Del gets his French phrases from a Renault manual.
I'll get the money off him and give it to Rodney, and it'll all be res de chasse, as they say in the Doudoin.
What a stroke of genius to have someone getting all the French words wrong.
Listen, Trotter, you're not cheating me.
Crew de taille plat.
It's so funny, and it continually gets funny. You know, and then they'll introduce John will bring a different French word in for the next series, and you think it's just really clever.
Well, goodbye.
Hey, no, not goodbye, Margaret. No, just bonjour.
Not goodbye, Margaret. Just bonjour. You can't help but love Del Boy, man. You can't help it.
Potpourri.
Don't do it!
Remarkably, John Sullivan wrote all 64 episodes of Only Fools and Horses single-handedly.
Ménage à trois!
And his original scripts are precious collector's items. Chairman of the Only Fools Appreciation Society, Perry Agajanov, has been collecting material from the show for nearly 30 years.
That's
and
so
David
crazy.
Jason has joined him to look through some of the scripts that were used by the cast and crew.
Well, we've got a little collection of scripts here. Losing Streak script there.
Is this an original script?
Yeah, that's John Sullivan's copy, actually.
Because I've got here some edits already. So what they never saw was social security. Don't you go using words like that, Dimitri. It's cruel. It's like saying Paxo to a turkey. Yeah, some lovely stuff.
This is lovely. Look, Ray, John would like this back afterwards.
Yeah, John always kept the original because anything that was cut, he might be able to rebuild into another script.
We're looking at these scripts and the thickness of them, and then one day, that lands on your doormat. Hull and back. And the sheer depth of the script. How did it feel at that time to be taking it from a 30-minute slot to, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, it was what John and I have been angling for some time because we were throwing more stuff away than other good comedies had got in their entire episode. They kept saying, no, it's 30 minutes, it's 30 minutes. Every sitcom is 30 minutes. I had a long discussion with John Sullivan and we decided that we'd go and put a gun to the head of the light entertainment department and said that either they give us more time or basically John would withdraw his writing talents. So.
Oh yeah, so of course they gave you more time. Couldn't afford the little John because this show was a freaking gem. This show was a diamond. This show was everything. And still goddamn is everything. Because I watched it and I absolutely loved it, even all these years later. But yeah, I was glad that they did bump it up from 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And then the specials were over an hour for sure, hour and a half.
And this was it that arrived at last, something this size, and it was a joy to behold because we knew that now John was writing with much more elbow room.
Who the bloody hell am I?
How?
With a plot to rival any Hollywood heist movie, To Hull and Back saw the Trotters diversify from market trading to diamond smuggling as they set sail to Amsterdam for their highest stakes deal to date.
It's such a funny idea, and it's so in character of Uncle Albert with all his tales, seafaring tales. He's finally tested.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right a bit. You mean starboard? I mean right. Don't start all that Captain Birdseye match cobblers.
We had to go out to the gas rigs, and after about 4 hours, there were 2 actors and the makeup department left who weren't seasick.
Dang.
You're sick, Del. What? Oh, leave it out, you tart. We've only just started.
You could not believe what was coming off the side of this boat.
Oh, God.
Buster, I'm afraid, played a very good salty sea dog, but unfortunately in real life, wasn't the case at all.
Oi! Oi! John! Holland? What? Which way to Holland? Hello? It's over there! Cheers, pal!
The day before, we flew out to the rigs to have a look at the shots and what we could use. And somebody on the rig said, so what are you doing? And we told them, we said, the gag is that we go out to the rig and say, oh, you're all right for Holland. So that's funny, isn't it? And this guy went, well, that happens quite often, actually.
He said, oh, that happens quite often, actually. That's realistic.
Well, Rodney, see? Don't know the way, you just got to ask someone, ain't ya? Right. Sailors like me.
Coming up, we discover how a shoot across the pond put the frighteners up the cast and crew.
Stick up its bum, see what it does.
And why John Challis was left on his own to entertain the Serbian nation live on television.
That was a moment.
In the 64 episodes of Only Fools and Horses, we get to see a variety of Peckham's glamorous hotspots. The waste disposal plant.
It's closed! You said it was open 24 hours a day!
Yeah, but not at night.
It's gone quick, Rodney, get after it!
Even the local supermarket. John Sullivan would grab every opportunity to get the Trotters out of the flat and into the real world.
Whenever you see them step outside, Nelson Mandela House, or they're not in the Nag's Head, as you're watching, you're going, yes! You're going, this is going to be great!
This man, don't! There's another one for you, Fraser! Open up the safe!
You can imagine the seats at the BBC saying, so sorry, what, there's a gunman and a hostage, and it's a sitcom. Really?
Ain't I seen you somewhere before?
No, I ain't been anywhere before, have I, Rodney?
You stay at home all the time. Before I did the show, it was one of my favourite comedy shows, and I knew it could grab like a 17 million audience, and I knew I had a job on my hands. Do you remember the Scarlet Pimpernel?
It weren't you, was it?
But I'm like him.
That was a real onion of an episode, I thought, because the 3 main characters, for want of a better expression, are very neatly sidelined, just to be part of a device of an overall plan of someone else's.
They seek him here, they seek him there. Those policemen seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven or is he in hell? That damn elusive
Shadow.
Shadow.
It was Nicholas Lyndhurst who said to me, why don't you say shadow? Do it like that.
Shadow.
So thanks, Nick.
After a stressful night, and with the shadow asleep, it was time for Rodney to take matters into his own hands.
I call it the Sullivan rug pull. Just when you think you know exactly what's going to happen, he just goes, wrong, I'm going to do this instead.
Besides the Nag's Head, one of Del and Rodney's other regular haunts was Sid's Caff, though with its deplorable hygiene standards, brusque service and questionable grub, viewers may have wondered why they even went there in the first place.
Got a cup of tea, please, Sid.
What are you talking about? Why did they go to Sid's Caff?
Well, it's close. It's close by and it's run by a mate.
Every workman in the entire country has got a Sid's Caff.
There's a hair in this.
Is here?
There's another one. That's disgusting, that is, Sid. If the health authorities saw this, they'd close you down.
I've been closed down for a lot worse than that, Denzel. Correct people.
Yeah.
What are you having, Treek?
I'll try some of that porridge.
That was the fun of it. Taking every classic greasy spoon that you'd ever had in your life and putting it all together in Sid's Caff.
Thank you, Sid. That was horrible, as usual. Cheers down.
While only Fools and Horses
That was horrible as usual.
brought Peckham into the national consciousness, it was in fact filmed primarily in Acton, West London.
I'm gonna make you rich, Denzel!
12 miles from Peckham, but on the doorstep of BBC Television Centre.
Sorry, viewers, the Lord's work calls. Rodney
Filming in London, they just took no prisoners. They would just stop the shoot. People would come past and go, "What? Rodney!" I was actually convinced that these people were going home and going back into the house and say, "Hello, Maud. Hello, darling. Do you know what? I saw Del and Rodney down the market this morning. Not I saw David Jason and Nick Lyndhurst filming Fools and Horses. No, I saw Del and Rodney down the market."
Yeah, we were now so embedded in the psyche of everybody that we were real.
Yeah, exactly.
Away you go, everyone, go on before you get your collars belt. Go on, away you go.
We were getting more and more popular as the series went on, and with that popularity, filming was becoming more and more difficult. The press were getting more and more interested in what we were doing, so we were always on the lookout for paparazzi. So it was decided we should try to get out of London, and I went around looking for somewhere to go and landed on Bristol.
But such was the popularity of the show, when production moved to Bristol, so did the press. And in 1996, when filming the Christmas Day special, the paparazzi were there en masse to get the scoop on the show's big comedy reveal.
Of course they were, god dang it. A freaking course they were.
Dressed like this?
And they sent a trainload of press people. And what they wanted was obviously the shot of you as Batman and Robin.
Yes.
And it was just such a spoiler.
Yeah.
So when they were filming, David and Nick were kept hidden to the very last minute, and then some of the lights were turned on photographers, because there were photographers there, and to stop them getting images.
We had this sort of like sweet spot when the pubs shut and before the clubs turfed out at about 4 o'clock in the morning. That was the time where we could shoot.
Said, "Right, David, Nick, out the run, back in the thing, doubles." So nobody could take the photograph. And they never, ever got the photograph.
You tart.
It cut to a foot coming out. And it was him with the blue boots.
That's it.
As he came up. And then Nick just came up the fittest Robin you'd ever seen in your life. And the whole place went bonkers.
Will you get back inside the van? I don't want people seeing you dressed like that. Ronnie.
Do you remember it? But every time Nick started to speak, I started to laugh. And then when I started to speak, Nick would start laughing.
Do you know, we could be there in 5 minutes if we ran.
We'll be seen. But when you look at someone dressed like a loony trying to be serious, we kept breaking up, and it took you ages to get it.
I'm sure.
What's happening?
That would have took ages, bro. The way they was dressed, bro, that was too funny. Especially when they walked in the funeral, bro. I about died, bro.
I have the faintest idea.
You're watching two of your friendly, lovable rogues doing something even more ridiculous than you'd ever imagined.
You may remember me. I wrote to you some time ago about
Dale! Let's go!
that fist bump was everything. Damn! Let's go! That fist bump was everything, bro.
Dale! Let's go!
Sorry, mustache. Duty calls.
Harry died yesterday.
Harry died.
Hey, watch out, trotters about.
The Only Fools and Horses feature-length episodes had bigger storylines with bigger budgets to match, often allowing John Sullivan to get the trotters out of Peckham and into the wider world.
Yeah.
Look out, Margate, and lock up your daughters, eh? All right, Ellen?
I love this freaking show so goddamn much. So goddamn much. It's such a good
always
show.
felt when they went away, I was always on the end of the telephone.
So was I.
So I'd just be brought in for a day to go, oh,
Yes.
good, I'm glad you're having a good time.
Yeah,
Put the phone down.
Unfortunately for Gwyneth and Tessa, Cassandra and Raquel were also left at home when John Sullivan came up with a storyline in one of the most glamorous locations you'd ever expect to see a BBC comedy, Miami.
Miami was fantastic because none of us were known in America at all. So we had a fine time. We could go out to restaurants together and not have the traffic stopping in the street and all the pictures and all that sort of things. That was lovely.
This feature-length episode had David Jason playing Delboy Trotter and his mafia Don doppelganger, Vincenzo Occhetti.
Somewhere out there lies the answer to my problems.
When the mob realised Del is a perfect lookalike, they try to kill him off in front of witnesses so that the FBI think it's the Don who is sleeping with the fishes.
People always seem to like me, and I just don't know why.
It's got me bewildered and all. What?
When we went to Miami, we had a lot of American actors who didn't know the show.
Oh my God! Somebody call an ambulance. Is he dead?
No, but it was bloody close, Rico.
They watched the show and they could not understand why the show had not gone to America. They used to wander around the set going, lovely jubbly.
I swear to God, bro, I'm surprised, but I'm glad that America never tried to remake it because I feel like we would have fumbled it and it would not have been as good. It would not have been as good at all. So I'm glad America didn't try to touch this show and try to remake it. But I'm surprised, because this show literal perfection.
In and out of a number of scrapes in Miami, including escaping from a first-story window and a ride on a high-powered jet ski. But unlike Don Vincenzo Occhetti, David Jason had no double to do the stunts for him.
Start button, and this is the throttle.
You said, just keep going, and I'll tell you when we cut. What you didn't to realise was when you're sitting on a jet ski with the water and it going full power, there's an awful lot of noise. And he's there, he goes, and cut. And cut. Hey, cut! Shouting. I couldn't hear him at all, I'm still going.
And the support boat, which we had to keep up with, couldn't keep up with him. David was literally halfway to Cuba.
And it wasn't only Del who had to do his own stunts.
Well, when I first read the script, and they said Del and Rodney are sitting on a log and an alligator comes between them, my first reaction was, well, it won't be real, because the BBC wouldn't do that. Yeah, they would.
Oh, my God.
Down on the ground, looking up, was John Rhodes with a camera. And eventually the handler took a stick and went straight up the backside of this alligator. The alligator turns and goes like that. John Rhodes ended 100 metres down the road.
God,
he was not. He left the camera running, thank God.
I want a crocodile. I know a crocodile when I come face to face with one. I've seen enough Tarzan films.
Some of the stuff that the actors have to put up with, honestly, real live alligators ready to eat them, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, but you producers and directors say, stick up its butt, see what it does.
So it'll be all right.
Yeah, be all right.
Wear it short.
Yes.
Nah, I'd be like, I would have been like, I'm not touching that thing. Ain't no way on God's earth I'm finna stick a stick up that alligator bum. Hey, y'all got the wrong person.
And the local wildlife weren't the only predators to watch out for. A few days into filming, producer Gareth Grennan found himself in a row with local unions off-screen in a plot similar to what was happening on-screen.
We are in deep stuck. This is mafia country.
We'd never heard of the Teamsters. We were so naive, you know. And of course, they came along one day and said, "You can't do this. You got to have some more of our staff." And Gareth said, "Excuse me, we're the BBC." And Gareth ended up in this Teamsters office with a 20-stone guy with a cigar and a leopard skin armchair sitting there. And Gareth went in and said, you know, the normal thing, "Excuse me, I don't care what you say." And this guy just looked at him and said, "I tell you what, I don't give a You can just go home if you don't want to go and do this." And Gareth decided that the BBC way of doing things possibly wasn't going to work at this game. So he came back very sheepish, going, "Don't worry, I think I've sorted it. Just get a few more staff."
You pelonka!
After the break, we'll see how Boise danced for the Serbian nation and how the Trotters were lost in translation. Only Fools and Horses is the most watched show in British TV history. But it isn't just British viewers who have laughed and cried at the exploits of Del.
I am constantly surprised at how far this comedy show has reached.
I've walked into a pub once and this guy said, "You Mickey Pierce." He said, "We Sarajevo. Bombs, mortars come, we in the basement. Looking fools on horses, laughing."
I did a show many years ago about chimpanzees, and we were hacking through a jungle somewhere in northern Uganda, and we heard pangas and machetes coming the other way, and one of them just hacked past me and didn't even bat an eyelid and went, "All right, Dave," and just hacked on.
All right, Dave.
Opposite direction.
The Only Fool stars are known all over the world and have appeared in the unlikeliest of places. John Challis even had this memorable encounter with Serbia's answer to Graham Norton.
My whole life story for 2,500 dinars.
That is a very good deal.
What started off as a personal appearance to plug both of his autobiographies soon took a turn for the surreal.
The presenter suddenly had some sort of heart flutter or something, and suddenly had to go and get some medical treatment, leaving me alone with this audience in the television studio in Belgrade. What do? I don't even speak the language, you know.
Unable to speak but a few words of Serbian, John Chalice had no option but to resort to the universal language of dad dancing.
That was a moment.
I love that. I absolutely love that.
Only Fools is so popular abroad, some countries have even made their own versions.
Što rekao da ga možeš potirati tako da už za 2 porcije dovoljno.
I love things like this.
Roughly translated, Slovenia gave us brother to brother.
It's rather good, isn't it? Who knew?
Spent more on the credits than we did.
The Dutch churned out What's It Worth?
We've got a dog.
Oh, we got a dog in it now.
And the Portuguese produced Furo Vidas, a local expression for someone living outside the law.
That's Del Boy.
That's Del Boy looking like Boise.
No.
Granddad appears to be universal.
At least they get 4 wheels on their van.
Various countries all adapted the original scripts.
You know what's coming here, don't you?
Which made for some instantly recognisable, yet strikingly different moments.
Heb je een lichtje? Nee. Wat zit je daar te bouwen? Dat zo'n China's van een lichtje hebben wat wij helemaal niet hebben.
Where's the remote? I don't understand the language.
Even Del's faux French was given an interesting linguistic spin by his Slovenian counterpart.
Hello. Hello, Grill. Are you from here today?
Dear, oh dear.
Where are you from?
From, yeah, from. No, girl. From, who, from?
See you later. Thank you.
The ultimate test for the foreign remakes are in recreating the show's more iconic scenes.
See?
Which one's meant to be Del Boy?
Deda, lahko začenjaš odvijat.
Pazita! One more turn, Rodney.
Dobra, primi se za vragac. Drži. Dobro?
Hey, I'll let you brace yourself.
Yeah.
That's pretty close, isn't it?
That is hilarious.
It works.
They copied that shot well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, slow. Slow.
Yeah, well done. Well done. Tick VG.
It's universal, isn't it? Physical comedy. That is very, very funny. And
Factual, yeah. But I'm still glad that we left it alone.
any language in the world, because the wrong chandelier falls. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, and that lovely build-up, shot for shot. And also, well, they had to shoot that exactly the same, so that works. They just have to do it the way we did it, otherwise it's not very funny.
Yeah.
But it's not always quite such a flattering imitation.
Hoje em dia, estas executivas modernaças.
Interesting they're doing it drunk. Wonder why.
Aguenta aí, Billy. Calma-te, estamos com sorte.
Oh, no!
Right. Nearly worked.
Yeah, it's not quite the trigger turn, is it?
Nós atacamos, Gui. Fica para a próxima.
He's doing funny walks, now, and he's putting a joke on a joke, that is.
Yeah.
It's almost a different scene. It's about something else. It's not about the falling through the bar.
It's about being very drunk.
It's about, it's about sort of the chaos is there, where in the other one they're very organised, they're very still, and then that happens. So
I feel that.
It's interesting to see. A different interpretation.
It shows you how fragile and how brilliant the actual concept is. And that's a parallel universe that shows you it's not the actual joke itself, it's the performance and it's the care. Because just somebody falling through the bar, particularly if they're saying, oh no, I'm in a comedy. Ooh.
With Fura Vidas providing an interpretation that was anything but lovely jubbly, let's see how one of the greatest moments in British comedy could be done.
Okay,
in a Peckham wine bar, with Del Boy and Trigger out to impress the ladies.
I think we're on a winner here, Trig. All right? Play it nice and cool, son. Nice and cool, you know what I mean?
Falling through the bar? No, I mean, when David did it, obviously it became an instant classic, and rightly so.
David Jason's fall is worthy of Buster Keaton, you know. I mean, it is. I can't offer higher praise than that.
But it very, very nearly wasn't going to be in the show at all.
Oh.
It was purely because Roger Lloyd Pack, at the time, he was doing pretty much every show on the BBC, it seemed, and he couldn't be in an episode, and then he was given some time off, and so he came in just to say hello, and John went, oh, can you do a bit? Because we're missing you in this episode, you're not in it. And he went, yeah, I can do a scene.
Drink up, we're leaving.
He wrote a scene pretty much there and then that involved the trap.
Ain't you going to try for them birds?
No, you're cramping my style, mate.
That, again, is a classic example of the brilliance of John Sullivan.
I love John Sullivan. Is there other shows that John Sullivan wrote? I'd love to know what those are, because I'd love to check them out.
Au revoir.
How amazing that, to be involved in a programme that's been so popular and is still so popular is nothing but a privilege.
Lovely jubbly.
It has really captured the world's imagination, and it still is. There are still countries just getting to know it.
Oh, shut up, you tart.
The stories that I've heard in places like Hong Kong, Singapore, in the middle of Africa, is a little tiny shack of a shop going Del Boys, and they are told that if you want to earn a bit and ingratiate yourself to the Brits, you just say, lovely jubbly, and it said, the world will be your oyster.
Lovely jubbly. I freaking love this show. That's all we got. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. It's your boy D-Neil. Out.